The Floriani Total Control software has a wonderful Applique tool. Open on the screen, you'll notice that I have a file open, and this is, if you see my sequence view over here, this is artwork. So this is vector lines, vector artwork. What we're going to do is we're going to take these shapes right here, and we're going to create applique. So we're going to go up here to our applique tool, which is this icon up here, and we're going to go ahead and select it. When working with applique, it's very similar to creating a run stitch or outlining a complex fill. To do it, you simply, I'm going to go in between, in the middle of this green line. What you do is you just left click to get started, and then you follow those that same guidelines, the left clicking. And there is a little trick. I'm going to go ahead and hit backspace that many of you might not know. If I hold down the shift icon or shift button on the keyboard, notice how this line looks a little crooked right now. If I hold down shift and click, you're going to notice that it created as a straight line. Just a little helpful hint: if you hold down the shift button as you click, you will get a perfectly straight line. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that as I click around this. I'm not going to get it perfect, but I'll get it somewhat close here. And we're just going to go around this object, outlining it for the applique. And one of the things that you'll realize right now, I'm just doing straight lines, but is if you're doing something that has curves in it, all you would do is hold down the control button as your left mouse clicking, and that'll create curves. So it works the same way with that. So let's go ahead and click right here, and on the last mouse click, I'm going to go right over the top of the first one. I'm going to left mouse click, and when I do that, you'll notice, and then I'm going to right mouse click, you'll notice that it's going to create those stitches. So what you see right here now is the applique satin stitch border. Now I'm going to go ahead and select that using the selection tool, and one of the things I want to point out to you is over here in your properties box, you will notice that right now the type of satin is satin. The type of applique stitch is satin. We're going to get into modifying and working with the properties box in the next lesson, but I just want to point out to you that this is the properties box for applique, and so you can notice that we'll get into those a little bit later, but you can notice that it is different for applique. Let's go ahead, and now what we're going to do is we're going to work with this this circle here, or this donut shape. Because this is artwork, if I don't want to take the time to go in and go around the corners, take the time to do that, there is another way which I can convert this into applique. One thing to note, that this is vector art, so if I select it, it's gonna highlight it. I can then go in and right mouse click. There's a convert to option, and I can go right down into applique, so I can convert that right over into applique, which is a great handy feature. That's when you're working with vector artwork, like your EPS files, your Adobe Illustrator files, or your WMF files. Those are how you'd work with that. But if you do have an image and you have your image sized to the appropriate size, you are able to use the magic wand feature as well. So you can utilize your auto digitizing or converting options when working with applique. As you can see in this little lesson, we right clicked and converted this to applique because it was artwork. So that very simply is how you create applique. Now we're going to take, in the next lesson, we're going to take you through on how to adjust and modify the applique.